Just would like to say that I'm actually really excited for this route, you know. I mean, it's the one route that I actually really have the most experience with, reading, but whatever. Let's just jump in. Right, okay. At the time I'm starting this reading is 9:02 a.m. Dawn is about to break by the time we make our way to the town square. Town's still asleep. The early chirping of the birds sounds above us, but besides that, there's no sound but our footsteps. The air is still cool, and I kick myself wishing I brought something thicker than this shirt. Cliff is walking next to me, bag of taffies in hand. Every now and then he offers me one, but I'm still full from the large breakfast he made me. I can see the apple tree in front of town hall. Shivers up my spine, memories of the ram from yesterday coming back to me. We're getting close. Well, any luck, they'll be there already. You wouldn't happen to be looking for us, would you? That goddamn fox. Of course, he just has to be here. This will make my escape a lot more difficult. He's fucking cute, though. Like, God. We're next to from behind an apple tree. He's followed by a horse with a blonde mane and a cap. Okay, so Cliff's cute and Murdoch are cute, but they're cute in two different ways, you know? Like, you get what I'm saying. If you're gay, at least. I don't fucking know. This is the fellow Cliff was sketching last night. Must be our guide. Heavens, you startled me! Terribly sorry, Mr. Tibbets. His muzzle splits into a toothy grin. Got the extra supplies you asked for. He's fucking cute. He is fucking cute. Oh, God. Oh, thank you, and Clifford is fine. Anyway, Samuel. Just a horse who seems to be straight, like he's looking straight through me. This is Mr. Coles. Mr. Coles, the man I told you about. Stallion taking a moment to respond. I'm sorry. Ooh, I don't even know what to do. Whatever, I don't care. Finally, extends paw. Come on, Jebediah. Jeb's fine too. Sam. Shake paws, as are rough to the touch. And you know Murdoch? I'm afraid I do. Quite a daring group of rogues we've assembled. Coming too? Of course he is. Every expedition to be documented, and what a better way to document it with a camera? Murdoch shades the camera hanging from his neck. Cliff here came to our store to buy supplies. We ended up talking while I was helping with delivery, showing some of my work, but he offered to hire me. Probably wasn't the only thing he showed him. Ooh, that's a tasty image. Why? Do you have a drip system coming along, Sam? Don't. Gotta play nice for now. I can't afford them getting suspicious. Of course not. Didn't figure with the adventuring type. Oh, you're absolutely right. But my family business is getting paid quite handsomely. My parents insisted I go. Besides, I've heard there's all sorts of exciting scenery on the road. He's rather obvious looking that Clifford doesn't notice. I suppose now that the introduction's been dealt with, we can be on our way. Jebediah nods his head with a grunt. He slings his large pack over his shoulder, heading down the main street. Okay, just that hurt. Cliff follows, leaving Murdoch behind. As I get ready to go with them, the fox walks up to me, hands in his pockets. There's a curious smile tugging in his metal in his muzzle. So, Sam, you left quite suddenly yesterday. What's the matter? Just think of something to say and fast. I ask you the same thing. What's going on between you and Cliff? Don't dodge the question. Just transformation, same as you did. Did I tell you? No, but I know what foxes smell like. Shakes his head. We had a chat at his apartment, and one thing led to one thing led to another, and another led me on all fours. It was a nice change of pace. Surprised me I was able to get that out of him. Oh, okay, so wow, Murdoch. Okay, Tegan. Almost like he wants me to know. You're not denying it. Denying it would be a waste of both our time, and I do hate wasting time. I think it's your turn to answer my question. There's no getting out of this one. Just, we got about the appointment I had. Must have been an important fail if you left without buying anything. You can say that again. Look frightened. I was right I said something to upset you. Murdoch, Sam, what's the matter? Cliff comes padding back to us. Oh, Sam and I had some matters to talk about. You can walk on the road if you like. We need to be out of town before the sun rises. Very well, we'll continue this conversation some other time then. Oh, this is new. Oh shit, there's claw marks on that thing. Bit of foreshadowing. The cover of darkness, Jebediah leads us through the empty streets all the way to the outskirts of town. He's prepared a small wooden wagon. I know I'm stumbling over that really simple word, but like I'm so used to like TJ where it's like Jedediah because apparently his parents were fucking weirdos and gave him that name. Tobias Jedediah S. What the fuck? Yeah, the cover art in Jedediah. I read that. Whatever. It ain't a pretty one, that's for sure. Paint in the wood's cracked, and what I can see underneath seems to be rotting. Not to mention the smell. A pair of old donkeys stands in front. Like the wagon, they seem well taken care of at least. Like I said, it's fucking 9 a.m., so I'm gonna have to deal with the yawns. They don't get like they're gonna be much help trekking across the desert. Wonder if we're gonna be okay, and judging by the look on Murdoch's face, he feels much the same. Help with the heavy lifting. Most of Cliff's gear goes on the wagon. Murdoch's brought a few crates of supplies himself. Canned food, booze. It's all from the store. We're really gonna need all this? Fortune favors prepared, my friend. As much faith as I have in Jebediah in our group, disaster could strike at any moment. It's a good thing you came along, Samuel. Without a strong measure yourself or Murdoch on camera duty, I'd have to delay my expedition even further. Perhaps I wouldn't be able to go at all. My sponsor would have been so disappointed. That's the first I've heard about a sponsor. Fear is paying is furthest out of pocket, which as he probably is. I suppose I haven't told you yet, Samuel. My expenses have been paid by a gracious donor. Now, I will be the first to admit that I have a rather fortunate upbringing. I do not want for money, and I've been able to see more of the world than I could ever dream while I left the university. But expeditions like these don't come cheap. Not without my sponsor, why I wouldn't be here right now. Who is your sponsor? Clifford clears his throat with a soft hem. He did not wish to be named. That ain't suspicious at all. It will be money well spent. My thesis will change how we view native populations across the world. Not sure spending money on horrors counts as money well spent, but I ain't complaining. Especially when this is getting me out of Echo. You really think so? Research in the Mercedes culture has been a dream of mine since I was but a first year. I've devoured every book, every newspaper clipping I could hope to find, and it's all led me right here. That's some dedication, right, Jebediah? Someone the donkeys grunts. Seeing them next to each other is kind of uncanny, and I struggle to get my eyes on Cliff. The coming days are to be perfect. I cannot allow anything to go wrong. If I can't learn all there is to know about the Mercedes, I might as well go home. Those are some lofty expectations. Not to say it won't be enjoyable, of course. You bring a guitar or something. I did. And he has quite a good singing voice. You're flattering me, Mr. Tibbets. You're too humble. It's the truth. Oh boy, don't you dare make me sing. Fucking hell yeah, I don't remember, fucking don't make me do that. This fucks anything but humble. I'm looking forward to hearing you sing as well, Samuel. Sing? The answer's more than enough from me. I don't exactly have the voice of an angel. Ah, but you look like one. He's so fucking cute. Murdoch laughs. I know it shouldn't, but Cliff's saying that make my face all warm. Because how innocent it sounds coming out of his mouth. Maybe I actually enjoyed being around him last night. I swear, the two cutest boys in this game are next to each other, and it's just, it's honestly, fuck. Because, I mean, sure, William's nice and all, and Nikolai's nice, but I only play their routes for the story. With these two, it's like, okay, yeah, they're fucking cute. It's a good thing Jebediah isn't watching. Still don't know what to think of that horse. Besides, singing's about enjoying yourself. It's not all about performing well. At least that's what they told me every week at choir practice. Chuckles. I suppose I wasn't very good either. Jebediah steps back from the wagon, turning to Cliff. Everything's packed. We should be ready to go. Splendid. I was fucking waiting to use my British accent to just go, splendid. It's one of those things where it just fits for some reason. I don't know. Even though I know for a fact that, oh my god, it's fucking cliche Western music. We catch the first rays of sunlight as we pass the town gates. Don't need to see much to know there's a barren wasteland stretching out for miles in front of us. Still, it's not. I was confused. Still makes me great just looking at it. After all this time, I'm finally leaving Echo. Hope I might see some of the woods. Ain't been in a forest for God knows how long. The clacking of hooves makes quite a racket this early in the morning. Jebediah's in his wagon, Cliff walking by his side. He's a fast walker. Murdoch and I are even like behind. Isn't that the prettiest sight you ever seen? Never seen a sunrise before. Come on, Sam, where's your sense of adventure? Must have lost it with the blood at the back of my head. I can't say that. There's probably what Hendrik said earlier. Pang of guilt hits me when I think of what happened to Cliff once James realized his whore's out of town. He can lose his job, get killed. All my fucking fault. And that's the terrible things I've done. I have to live with it somehow. Jesus Christ, Sam. Killing Jack was not a terrible thing. He was going to fucking leave you there. For fuck's sake, that's a death sentence of itself. God. For all I know, Hedgehog is making empty threats. Maybe Tom will clear my mind. He'll leave town often. Christ. This coffee would help a bit, but whatever. For errands and the occasional spot of native photography, yes. But never too long. I spend enough time trying to keep with things at home. Yourself, it strikes me never learn much about you. You're not from around Echo, are you? Originally, I mean. I can tell your accent. Of course he fucking knows. Not surprised at this point. After chilling in the sun while I look for it again. It's coloring the desert a glittering orange, I have to agree with Murdoch. It does look beautiful. Cliff's straight with heavy mouth is about as big as he is. He's looking back at us when a gust of desert wind blows it against his face with a loud smack, knocking his glasses askew. That's not pleasant. He squeaks in surprise. Jebediah, maybe an act of mercy, takes him out from him. That question, just taking a peek at himself. I too am rather curious. Stoat slows down to join us, bottle brush tail swaying side to side and fixes his glasses. Zimming on nods. I ain't from around here, no. Not even from the state. Southeastern side of the country, perhaps. Just pick that up. Magnolia State. I swear, if I'm fucking wrong about where Georgia, he's definitely from Georgia. That's what the fuck? Are you kidding? I didn't fucking plug my phone in. You gotta be joking, bitch. Oh well, I'll just go get it because I don't really think I. Fucking hell. Literally just at the bed behind me, but still, whatever. I knew it. You did? This way of speaking clued me in. Linguistics may not necessarily be my area of expertise, but I like to pay attention. After all, languages either spoken play a large part in not only communication, but in social and cultural identity as well. They tell you a lot about a person's upbringing. You can tell that by listening to them. That's a scary thought. Yes! It's rather interesting. I'd love to go over it in more detail at some point. You seem to have an accent all your own, Cliff. I may be Batavian, but I've lived abroad for a few years now. I haven't even gone back to visit. You still speak Batavian? I don't think you forget your native language, Samuel. I don't think you forget your native language. That's just a fucking guess. You know, I'm just gonna go on a limb here and say you don't fucking forget your own language. I mean, fucking hell. Oh, I'm fucking dumb. He's from Mississippi. Maybe in our universe, I'm guessing, but like in our universe, which I don't even know how to do with that accent, so I never even heard it. I don't think. I haven't spoken in a while. After I left university, I never felt the need on my course in English, and most of my students spoke. What? That's it. Speak English as well. Well, I'd love to hear some Batavian. What about you, Sam? Jebediah? Horse grunts, kind of. That just looks at the map. Go start Pop goes the weasel. Fuck off, game. Go start stammering eyes darting left and right. Go ahead. At least I'm not the center of attention anymore. Jeez, Sam, I feel that. I fucking feel that. You put me on the spot. He's stiff as a board. I'm not asking you to recite the Declaration of Independence, just a simple good morning would do. Well, in German that'd be Guten Tag, but I don't think that's, you know. Alright. Golden Morgen. Yeah, he's definitely, he's Dutch. Mulder's breath. I didn't quite catch that. Cliff knits his brows. You're so fucking cute. I'm not sure I've ever heard some of this sounds or just left his muzzle. Good shit. He stands there from a smacking as he tries to repeat. It's not that fucking hard. Good grief. It's obviously supposed to be fucking Dutch, for fuck's sake. I have officially given up on the Batavian. Just persists to laugh. Quite a shame, you were on the right track. I'm a photographer, not some cunning linguist. Not gonna say it. But yeah, language is really fucking interesting. I should know, I fucking made my own. But yeah, I basically brought out all the grammar rules and all that shit, and yeah, it was fucking fun. Man, I'm just doing something real quick. I'm sorry, guys. Holy fucking shitload, you fucking bitch. No, let's see. Oh yeah, it's Dutch. Oh yeah, it's definitely Dutch. I looked it up. Huh. Neat. As I have Dutch blood in my veins, of American born and raised, whatever. You seem kind enough to me. How about we were talking about Sam? Shit. There we were, let language lessons laughed away. There's one thing in particular I'm curious about. Which is... how'd you end up working in a brothel of all places? Not exactly, you know. Liv. Product leans in, voice layering into a whisper. Jebediah's right here. Cliff's eyes shoot wide open, doesn't seem like Jeb notices though. I was certainly curious. Heard that before. Just looking at you and expecting to be the whore type. That's what some people do. Not much to say, really. Came for the gold since everybody else. Wasn't too good at mine work, so that dream ended real quick. Cliff nods urgently, his little ears twitching. And then what happened? The kid Jebediah turned to us, map in hand. It's probably when I slow down to a crawl. All eyes are on me. Dora was out doing some odd job, so she helped me focus on putting some work. Crying my teeth, my cheeks burning. Just saying that it'll be over. I was expecting something a little bit more exciting. You don't know the half of it. I should have guessed you worked in the mines in the past. Your build says it all. I shivers to shrug my shoulders. Just for a few weeks. I'm not sure I ever go back and I got offered all the gold in the world. That's funny. Funny foreshadowing. For a different route. Still. This feels odd at picturing you in a miner's uniform, Sam. I most certainly am not. He definitely is. Jeb leans forward in his mind, looking over it. Fucking looking over it. Hate to break up this conversation, but we're gonna have to get a move on. I think that's one of the first full sentences I've heard him say in this expedition so far. We want to be somewhere shady by noon, and we ain't gonna get anywhere at this rate. You don't want to end up dying of heat stroke before you reached our first rest stop. And remember, your flask ain't for leisurely sipping, ration your water. We ain't gonna find clear drinking water for quite a while. Barak about to drink while he stows away his flask again. And so we keep walking. Sun's up now and I can finally see some positive out of my eyes. It ain't so cool anymore either. Every now and then Barak asks Cliff to say a certain word in Batavian. Cliff's answers starting to sound stranger every time. Nature photography. I mean, you gotta be honest, like, Dutch and German are pretty similar to English in how they, like, the way they're spelled and all that, and, like, some words are basically, like, the foundation for English words, and it's fucking, just look into it. Nature photography, that's literally just, I'm not even gonna try. You just keep surprising me. I am making fun of me, Mr. Burns. Sure you have nothing but respect for you and your language. What about you, Jebediah? Another grunt from the horse. I think more like likes getting a rise out of him. But then again, I think he likes getting a rise out of everyone. I think he's very impressed as well. Okay, so what about this one? Something makes the cart rattle. Donkeys braze and pick up speed, dragging the cart far away from us. Murdoch barks in surprise when we pick up our pace, Cliff sprinting ahead. Nasty scraping sound goes off as the cart comes to a halt, the donkeys now kicking up dust. As we catch up, I can see Jeb holding the reins of his donkeys. Their eyes are turned up and they're showing their gums as they gibber and stomp. Don't come no closer. Made a shushy noise, whistling the wind between his teeth. They're scared. Blitzdale stopped kicking up dirt and lets go of their reins, patting each on the head. Scared of what? Dunno. Me usually ain't like this. Yeah, I mean, I haven't said anything by now, but ain't isn't a real word. It's a contraction, but still. I mean, It's said, I've heard it said so many times in the South over my fucking, God, I haven't, like 8 years. I've been down here now, Christ. I don't like a predator's nearby. A predator? Lightly up with the wind. Could have picked up the scent of a carcass baking under the sun. These beasties need a moment. We have to stay put for a while. Got an idea for how long? Shouldn't be more than an hour at worst. See Murdoch hop into the wagon, his white-tipped tail poking out as he rummages through some things. When he reemerges, he pulls out a fairly thick wooden box and has a footer under his arm. Not a problem. Let's go get some caliotaps, Cliff. Fucking what? He hops out of the wagon and leads Cliff away through some pine trees. Oh, they don't get too reckless and lose track of time, leaning against the wagon and sigh. Jeb is walking to the front of the cart. I look for the canvas flaps to take a peek at him, pulling a lever while shoving forward. So, what's the problem? I had to slow the Jennies down with the brakes while they were at full gallop. And Jake gives me a look. You're not supposed to do that. Brake drums could be stripped. What's a brake drum? Metal pieces that press against the wheel axle. It's what happens when you pull the brake lever. Stops removing is easy. How come you don't know that? Know what? How things work. Face was a little hot. Didn't have much opportunity to learn such things. That's surprising. What is? I just had you picked for a handyman with a build like that. Maybe you're more of a soldier. He's nosing what I thought too. And you sure seem to think a lot for a farmer. A dumb farmer's a dead farmer. That's a fucking great aphorism. More of a rancher, though. Not the best growing soil in these parts. Unless you eat pine cones. Can't say I have. Could tell. You ain't a string bean like that weasel, so you must eat well. Oh my god, he has new sprites. I fucking love it. Wow. Speaking of which, come on, get behind the cart. Want to test the brakes. Pulling out from under the canvas and walk to the back of the cart, position my stance and bending my knees. The paws rest on the tailgate plank. A little bit lower. Try to push near the framework. This fine. That'll do it. Pulls the wooden lever at the front of the wagon again. Push as hard as you can. Put the weight of my core against my forearms as I try to make the wagon budge. I grunt and the wood creaks from the force I apply, but doesn't give. Looks like we're good to go. Maybe about 10 minutes for Cliff and Murdoch to show up again. How'd it go, you two? It was blistering. Oh, we got some decent capture of the countryside, I think. We're ready to move. Not putting in the wagon when you get dizzy. Push on without much trouble. Fox and the Weasel the most talkative. Me and Jeb stay relatively quiet. Noise of the trains is like a quiet hoot in the distance. Been going for hours now. Echoes a tiny dot behind us, but the load on my shoulders hasn't gotten any lighter. Got into a sloping path lined by boulders and sagebrush. It's more rocky than sandy, and it's absolutely hell on my paws. Thought I couldn't get warmer, but it has. Bag is starting to stick to my back. Shirt is drenched as my fur is. It's going to be a pain. My mouth's so dry, it's like I taste far with every breath. Need a whiskey. Or a tall glass of sweet tea. Ew. Sweet tea's disgusting. Fucking hate that shit. And I know what you're gonna say. Oh my god, a dude that lives in Georgia that hates sweet tea. I grew up in the North, fuckers. Sure, I was born down here, but I'm not a Georgian by heart. If anything, I'm waiting until I have enough money to move with my fucking boyfriend, so that's the thing. Oh boy, I cannot fucking wait to just move in with him and be able to actually snuggle him at night instead of fucking blankets. You know, God, that's gonna be so good. Looking at it, the only one. Both Cliff and Murdoch got their tongues lolling out of their muzzles. More than a bit strange to see Cliff this sweaty and messy. Even after sleeping with him, he still looked all prim and proper. Only one keeping a stern face is Jebediah, who's lowered his cap over his eyes. So how long is this gonna take? We're about halfway to the sightseeing point right now. It's that far? And we ain't even gotten to the steep part yet. The steep part? There's a steep part? Never been to the sightseeing part one before? It's a pretty popular hiking spot. Some of the best damn views in the state if you ask me. But it's such a long walk. I've heard people say it's haunted. Spacious rumors, of course, but intriguing nevertheless. We don't want to know anything about it, Jebediah. There are a few stories, yup. Sometimes when you shout into the cane at a specific time, you'll hear a voice. Sometimes more than one. There's also tales of folks who peeked over the canyon's edge and saw corpses down below. When they went down to look, there was no one there. That sounds awful. Heard that one too. Usually for miners too drunk to even walk out the door without tripping over themselves. So I'm not entirely convinced. You know, it's really interesting how they're talking about people looking down and seeing corpses, and then in TJ's route we have that point where the intrusive thoughts can take over Chase and he like imagines TJ's body fucking rotting in the canyon. Christ almighty, that was ooh, fucking creepy shit. Anyway, yeah, TJ's route's amazing. It's fucking like one of the best in the game. It's my second favorite. People have actually died here. I've heard Willie mention it once or twice. People go out for a hike and never come back. Sometimes it's dehydration, sometimes it's coincidence. Sometimes it's something worse. What, suicide? Maybe. Accidents are common, especially when alcohol is involved. It doesn't take much to slip and fall when you're at the top. Well, don't that just fill me with confidence? I've literally thought that myself when I've been on mountains, you know. Because when I was younger, my dad, always took, it was basically a yearly tradition that I'm, 3-ish to, a couple years back. We basically always went over to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and we would, do a bunch of stuff there. And, always went hiking. That was one thing. And the mountains in Tennessee are fucking beautiful. In fact, the entire town of Gatlinburg is just nestled in between these mountains. It's so fucking pretty. It's just so pretty. Oh, I want to go there again. Especially if the trunk is showing off. So why are we going there again? I have to sort out my brow and undo the buttons on my shirt. Cliff doesn't miss it, so I'm imagining to get his tongue back into his mouth before talking again. It's the fastest way to a destination. Don't worry, there's no such thing as ghosts. You sure seem interested in hearing these stories, though. Well, no fucking shit. I'm a fucking horror. I love horror. I love ghost stories. They're so fucking cool. I don't believe in ghosts in the supernatural sense of the word, but I do believe in ghosts in the sense that emotional residue can create sort of emotions and expectation. When you go into an old house and there's a lot of history and all the emotions of the people that have lived there is soaked into the walls and marinated for who knows how long. Yeah, it can feel just different. And also, ghost stories are a really interesting way to assess the culture of a certain area and what scares those people. You can always really tell a lot about a civilization based on what they feared. It's really interesting when you look into that. For instance, the ancient Mesopotamians, they a lot of their monster myths stemmed around chaos and the void, which makes sense considering their civilization was entirely predicated upon order and conformity and making sure that everything was in tip-top shape or else they'd all starve to death. Yeah, really, it's really interesting when you look at the the stuff that scares certain civilizations, and from that you can extrapolate what their societies were like and what they, it's interesting. It's really fucking interesting. I'm literally, yeah, I like Cliff a lot, mainly because he kind of reminds me of myself in certain aspects, but whatever. Yeah. My friend, legends and myths play a large role in cultures all over the world. Whether about the creation of the earth, about the voices we hear when we're alone at night, these stories shape our very lives and how we perceive things. Exactly. Fucking exactly. Thank you. I'm not exactly a pious man, Sam, but there is something special about the unexplainable. I believe we're part of some greater whole. Do you believe in God? I don't know, to be honest. My mother and father were devout Catholics, as was my sister. Ew. Fuck the Catholics. I went to many a sermon in my youth. But as I got older and struck out on my own, I realized that who I am as a person. Takes a deep, shuddering breath, shaking his head. Who I am as a person didn't exactly align with what was expected of me. Starting to understand my kinship last night. Opportunity to join me on this subject decision, it made me prattle a lot about myself. It's okay. Indeed, we're in this for the long haul after all. We're gonna be relying on one another a lot. That we are. I couldn't ask for better companions. Thank you, all of you. That includes you, Jebediah. Horse tips is out at us. Grit my teeth. I'm gonna hate leaving them tonight. But I need to. Actually, Fox stops in his tracks, grabbing his camera. He gestures at it. Would you mind? He's so fucking cute. He's so fucking cute. I love him. Oh, a picture? Wouldn't that be a waste of film? You will underestimate me, Mr. Tibbets. I brought enough film to last me a year. Oh, all right then. Don't you worry, Cliff. I'll capture your good side. Do we have time for it? We're actually making good headway. Should be fine. Laps the wagon, leaning back with a long sigh. Good line is the most important part. Important thing for an outdoor photograph. That bullish stew. Ought to be blistering. It's small enough shade, should be fine. Oh, so it is. I told you so. Why don't you stand next to him, Sam? Absolutely not. Suit yourself, sourpuss. Look slightly down until you head to the left. I'll count down from 3. Remember to stay still and give me your best smile. 3, 2, 1. Got it. Now let's get one without his shirt. Murdoch, you are crushing hard on him. Why? Why? Because he's a sex pervert. In that case, the shirt comes off. Oh, there's so much humor in this route. I thought you'd be more understanding, Sam. I just think I'd have the smartest move to leave evidence. No telling what folks are doing with this stuff in the wrong hands. With a body like Cliff's, I find it very easy to imagine what somebody would do with his image in their hands. Besides, they're only shirtless. For now. For now. Murdoch, you are fucking simping for him, aren't you? Christ. I shake my head as the sorry sight goes on for 10 more minutes. Jesus fucking Christ, 10 minutes? That's a bit excessive. The sagebrush is getting thicker as we climb the slope. Pretty soon we're almost at the top of the canyon trail. I ain't been this high up in a while, not since getting to Echo. Take a long look at my watch, almost noon, but I've been walking since dawn. Counting the breaks we took, it must have been about 7 hours. I can definitely feel it wearing me down, and I'm used to moving a lot during the day. Can't imagine what Cliff must be going through. Almost there now, just a short hike left. Is the shade at the top? Some. And a tree stump or two to sit on. Good, I can't feel my... Good, I can't feel my paws anymore. I can't either. I need to wring out my shirt. We can rest for about an hour. Perhaps we can try some more rations. Trek down's a mite easier at least. Where are we gonna make camp tonight? Jebediah points to the forest stretching out below us. Might not look it, but there's a stream running down there, so we can use it washed up and fill our flasks. And the trees provide plenty of cover. Might make it easier to slip away. The forest is gigantic. What if we get lost? I've been there more times than I've drawn breaths at this point. Y'all follow my lead and everything will be hunky-dory. Tibble looked into the pouty face. The Cliff was too satisfied with Jebediah's answer. Murdoch noses too, clapping the weasel on the shoulder. We'll be fine, Cliff. Cliff relaxes. I'm sorry, it's just that... Everything needs to be perfect, we know. Cliff laughs sheepishly. Yes. He sighs, pushing his glasses further up his snout. One's just trying to look a little foggy. You probably think it's strange of me to worry so much. We're all a little strange. Right, Jeb? Wagon comes to a halt, the wheels creaking. One of the donkeys starts balking. For a second, I think Jebediah finally had enough of Murdoch, but the horse then gestures to warning signs around by a couple of tree stumps. This is the spot. You lot can have a seat. I'll give the girls something to drink. Girls? Oh, the donkeys. Oh. Isn't this interesting? I'm almost positive this is where the bench is in, Echo. I don't remember, though. It's been a bit, whatever. Briefly comes over when I finally sit down on a tree stump more than makes up for the agony of getting there. Look out over the woods in the canyon down below. They stretch out for miles and miles, so that's that I can't see the ground underneath. You definitely don't see this much green in Echo, that's for sure. Jeb's checking some supplies and load from the wagon. He urged Cliff to take a break, but there the weasel is, running his little paws over every crate and bag to make sure everything's in there. Got everything you need, Professor? Takes a satchel from the heap of things still in the wagon. Everything's accounted for. I suggest we get some rest. You don't gotta tell me twice. First thing I do is I take out my shirt. Sweat's starting to remind me of the hip a little, and I feel a need to clean myself coming up. Got more than one pair of eyes on me. Murdoch whistles. I've been told that he's appeared when nice, but I wasn't expecting this. Murdoch! Stone's a dumb machine, but the stoat's ogling me too, as is the horse. When I lock eyes with Jebediah, immediately turns around, pretending to carry donkeys, and takes a large swig of water. Everyone's gay in this fucking town. Christ almighty. I mean, all the people that matter seem to be fucking gay. I don't pay any mind. I'm used to folks looking. Really is a sight to behold. Oh my god, they're both blushing. Keep staying like that, it's gonna cost you. We just start gesturing to the trees. I was talking about the canyon. Sure you were. Griff pats it over and I press my legs together to give him some extra space in the stump. Doesn't hesitate one bit, laying up against me after tugging at his tail. His ears are red. Do you mind? Not at all, I have a seat. He's smelling rather strong, and not all like flowers this time. It's musky, earthy. Ain't a bad smell, isn't surprising what's underneath all that perfume. Was it a shaky breath? Tries to relax before long he's fidgeting again, but a paw in his bag. You okay? Very, I dare say this most I've enjoyed myself since I met you, Sam. A bit too much, both the weasel of his fun just for today. The last day I'm his. That good, huh? Whispers to Murdoch and Jebediah I can't hear and give his arm a squeeze. He squeaks. That's good. He closes his eyes, breathing out the nostrils. Then why a fidgeting so much? I'm just anxious to start my research is all. I suppose I can begin right here. The rumors Jebediah mentioned to be easy to verify. You mean the ones about the voices? Yes, I doubt for their veracity, but maybe for a fun experiment. Though I think I might enjoy the shade a while longer. Heavens, I wish I could take a bath right now. He yawns and gets comfy against me, lid in his eyes. Next to us, Murdoch gets up off the ground, dusts himself with a grunt. I'm gonna be taking some pictures of the canyon if you don't mind. Wear this perfect for some natural photography. It's aimed at a clip of the wheeze already fast against my chest, snoring softly. Murdoch tisks. If you need me for anything, I'll be further down the trail. Be careful where you're walking. Don't want to scrape you off the rocks below. Of course, I don't want to break any of my equipment. Or your neck. Murdoch chuckles. Shibadai, what do you take me for? I know a rookie when I see one. I'm hurt. Well, I'll watch my foot if you'll watch my things. We're leaving in an hour. I know. Walks off, camera in his paws. Turns up at eyes leaning against the wagon. There's actually something I want to ask you. Stallion tilts his head. Do you know anything about a monster around these parts? I know some stories. Friend saw this big gray one. Red eyes, smelled real bad. Mulled it over for a moment. Ain't no monster I've heard of, sorry. Must have really been a dream then. There's another creature bringing the spot around Echo, though. What does it look like? That's the strange part. Doesn't look like much of anything. My buddy Avery, who has a friend who has a sister who claims she saw it while doing laundry. Avery? Town doctor? Didn't think so much to have all that many friends, much less that one of them be a doctor. Stitched me up with what happened. Odd couple. That's him. You never told me about any monsters. That's because you never seen him after 2 beers. He'll tell you just about anything when he's shit-faced. Anyway, this friend's sister said the thing she saw had no fur and smelled like burning flesh. Like charcoal. It was so mangled looking she didn't even know what species it was. Had holes where its face should have been. Oh! Oh my god, okay, the first mention of the amalgamation. That's odd. Ain't that the truth? Anyway, it did nothing, just stood there. When she turned around, it was gone. Not even all the chickens were dead in the coop. Every time they had to sell the farm. Smells more like bullshit than burning flesh, you ask me. Just a drinking story, yeah. It's probably the sickness that the chicken's in, if it's true at all. Same goes with this canyon. People are just seeing things they want to see and hearing things they want to hear. I've been going on this route for years and I never once heard voices. Folks like to blame things on a boogeyman they don't understand. Mr. Tibbetts right there probably knows that all too well. He gestures and weasel draped across my chest. He said you were the only guy willing to take him. Sorry. I was. Not too many folks in Echo are keen on strange and foreigners. But like your fox friend said, we're all a little strange. Gotta be to live in a shithole like that. The weasel stirs and brings his paw to his eyes, rubbing underneath his foggy glasses. He yawns as he turns toward him and I get a good whiff of his breath spray. Morning, sunshine. Morning? Trying to panic, Brenda gets me enough to get up, damn near hits me in the face. How long did I sleep? Couple of minutes. That was not his voice. Oh! Stops drinking and takes a breath that gets first this year. Thank goodness. Shuts his eyes again. Where's Murdoch? A bit further down the trail, I'll have to take some pictures. That was a pretty confession for me. What for? I need a few push up myself to my thesis, and this will be the perfect backdrop. Sure I want to get some more sleep? You were looking pretty peaceful there. Not to fret so much, Sam. I can take care of myself. Scraped on his arm a few days ago to tell me a different story. What are you going to do while I'm gone? shall prepare the food for this afternoon and go over our next course of action with Jebediah. And perhaps she should be more comfortable, not to mention dry. What kind of food we gonna eat? Best I can do is canned beans. I'm sorry. Me and the boys at 2 a.m. looking for beans. Fucking hell. Oh. Fucking, what the heck? Cliff just gave me this fucking, like, weird ass look. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, that's kind of spooky. My favorite. Weasley gets off of me so I can leave, pressing his muzzle to my cheek for a moment. Thank you, Samuel. I appreciate it. No mention it. Where did that damn fox run off to? Been walking down the street for 10 minutes and still no sign of him. Did he slip and fall? I hope not. Don't want to look any more suspicious than I already do. How would you look suspicious? God, good grief, dude. You were way too focused on this fucking self-defense murder you did. Then they see his bushy tail peeking out from behind a boulder a ways off near the edge. Catch a smell from all the way over here. It's gotta be him. And near the boulder, dirt crunching under my paws. Step by step. The camera clicks. Hear a mumbling. Murdoch? Fucking Christ, I was like, is it gonna be him or not? Samuel! Anyone ever tell you you shouldn't sneak up a man standing at the edge of a canyon? Anyone ever tell you standing so close to the edge of it ain't a good idea? Jebediah might have, once or twice. Heard you mumbling. I've been talking for a while now, but what do you know? The king hasn't replied yet. His stories weren't true after all. I'm almost disappointed. You don't have to lie about talking to yourself, dude. I talk to myself all the fucking time. I mean, obviously, that's what I'm doing right now. This fucking video is me talking to myself. So, you know, that's a weird thought. But yeah, even when I'm not making videos, I talk to myself all the time. It's just something I've done my entire fucking life, basically. It's more of like a just thing I do. Yeah. Oh, wonder how hot it's gonna be today. I'm almost disappointed. We have Doma to come get you. Said he wants his pictures taken. I'll head right on over there and can't leave the boss waiting. I'm still dying to know what scared you off the other day. I already told you. Was it the truth? Hesitate. See if you have any information that can help. I don't. Good as a no. Dude, for fuck's sake, you killed him in self-defense. It's not that big a deal, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm worried about you. Why? Because we're partners. You, Jebediah, Cliff, and I. I'd have told you everything. Alright, we'll talk about this some other day. There's something else in my mind anyway. I was just wet from his brow with a sleeve. What is it now? Cliff. You know, he's rather smitten with you. I couldn't tell. I suppose it does make it rather obvious. What about you? How do you feel? What are you getting at? Jealous of something? Oh, not at all. Quite the opposite, in fact. Damn Fox is speaking riddles again. I'd like to make a proposition. Another wager of yours? I better not cost me any money. I think you'll like my terms this time. Which are? I'd like to spend a night together, just 3 of us. Tilt my head. You mean? Yes. What makes you think he'll say yes? What makes him think I'll say yes? Call it a hunch. I don't care much for hunches. I've seen the way he looks at you. I've seen the way you look at the both of us. Both easy on the eyes, I can't help myself. It's just a proposition, though. I don't need an answer right away. Would I get paid? If Cliff's to be believed, we'll be famous men when we get back. Perhaps even rich enough to afford you. So, yes. Looks past me, clapped me on the shoulder. Give it some thought, won't you? Why don't you? But my plans means they are, I don't have to. Thought isn't bad, though. There's worse-looking clients out there. Give me one of his grins again. Murdoch goes back up the trail, stuffing his paws in his pockets. Once I don't see him anymore, I walked where the fox stood, to the very edge. The wind's steady. It's warm and dry, kicking up a little sand. I have to shield my eyes. Damn near feels like I'm being cooked alive. At least the view is pretty. Not sure if it's worth hiking all the way, but I'd rather be here than with a client back home. Very, very carefully, I sit down and grab my flask. My legs dangle over the edge. Take a swig. Water's heavy on my tongue. Swallow another drink right after. They can miss me for a little while. Besides, after all that talk, I'm curious. Might as well try, right? Hello! Shouting to the canyon, lean back. Nothing. I don't know what I was expecting. I pour the rest of the flask's contents down my throat. Wind's howling around me now, whistling in my ears. Almost sounds like it's screaming. A gust ticks up, knocking the flask on my paws. Try and grab it before it falls, but it knocks me off balance, forward. For a moment more than my legs are dangling off the canyon's edge. I get a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach. This is how I die. I dip my claws on the ground, barely manage to get myself from sledding off. Flask tumbles down below. Your garbled growl rise above the wind. Nope. Fuck that. No, sir. I can hear a garbled growl rise above the noise of the wind. What was that? What is going on? Samuel. Still breathing hard. Throat burns. A brown paw on my shoulder brings me back. Excuse? What the fuck? Oh, okay. Oh my god, I'm a pussy. I'm a pussy. I just brings me back. I thought it was like going to be pulling him off. Look up and see Cliff looking down at me. You told him about them while you were walking to town earlier this morning, but I almost don't recognize him in his new clothes. What's wrong? Nothing. I wouldn't say it's nothing. You've been gone. I wouldn't say it's nothing. You've been gone for an hour. An hour? I'm washed again. An hour past noon. Could have sworn I'd been here for 2 minutes. I mean, I returned a little while, but you never showed. You had us worried. Are you alright? You look rattled, to say the least. I'm fine, I just heard. Voices? A nod. Might have been the wind. True, the wind is rather strong up here. I must admit, I did try it myself. Act of curiosity, of course, is the only way I believe in such tall tales. No luck, however. Just like Murdoch. I didn't like it. Look at it differently, Samuel. You should count yourself lucky to experience a phenomenon like that. I don't feel lucky. Sorry. We'll put a pin in it. What matters is you're safe. Since a paw I take all too happily. By the way, he leans in. It's a good thing you missed the afternoon meal. I could barely stomach those beans. They were absolutely revolting. After meeting up, back with the rest of the group, back up to gear before moving on. Jebediah's giving me a piece of bread. It's a bit stale, but it's food nonetheless. Going down is much easier than climbing a steep hill. Scenery is getting more lush and less dusty. Thank God I was getting sick of the boulders. Even though the wagon's creaking an awful lot with every bump in the road, it doesn't break again. Not sure I could stand sitting around. Cliff's in the wagon now, leaving Murdoch and I to walk side by side the rest of the way. Still, somebody said earlier, I have never had 2 clients at the same time. Usually people keep to themselves as they should in a town like Echo. Regardless, I made up my mind. I'll sneak out of camp tonight. I've looked at Jebediah's map. I know where to go and what to do. If I want to, I can take some of the blister myself. Cliff's brought too much food. He won't miss it. He might miss me, but if I don't leave tonight, I'll have to go back to Echo. To Nick. To James. To William. To the gallows. I'd be a fool not to take this chance. At least whatever happens to Nick will have been for something. Nikolai. Try and shake the thought in my head. Put yourself first, Sam. Ah, yes, put yourself first. That's totally not completely ridiculous or anything. We reached the forest by nightfall. Just like Jebediah said, there's a stream nearby. Cliff and Murdoch go to wash up while me and Jebediah unpack the supplies and feed the donkeys. Yeah, it's only 55 degrees out. It's probably really humid though. Probably. Hmm. Is it gonna rain? Well, it's cloudy, but doesn't look like it's gonna rain. Huh. Looks like it's only getting to 67 today. That's interesting. Yesterday I got up to like 84 or something like that. I remember, but it was fucking hot. Ugh. After gathering some firewood, you imagine making a nice. You imagine getting a nice campfire going. Oh boy, campfire stories. Time to tell some ghost stories, fuckers. No. Oh, no. Oh, God, I wish I fucking back to this chair. I wish I could fucking lean against it, because, like, jeez. By the time is almost completely set, only orange light filtering through the tree leaves. We're all huddled around it, swapping stories, drinking. Even Jebediah is resting for a change. Okay, this is really cute. Um. Um. You see that, right? There's like there's like a figure here with like, oh my god, fuck that. Okay, but Sam is kind of, ah, I'd fuck him. I mean, not really. Ah, yes, you would fuck the player character. God, isn't that interesting? Fucking hell. And then he turned around, and there was the miner's ghost, waving a pickaxe high above his head. You come for my gold, now come for your life. Soldier was never heard from again. They say if you go near the mines at exactly midnight, you can hear the miners striking rock, looking for gold. Third, third, third. You have to pantomime the entire thing. That was a terrible story. How did the soldier get into the mines in the first place? Why didn't he just turn back the first time he hit the ghost? How could there be a message written in the fresh blood if the ghost didn't have anything to begin with? There was no one else in the mines. You didn't mention a corpse. Clark waves his paw. Oh, hush, I wasn't really trying with that one. I could tell. If you'd like to tell a tale, go right ahead. I'm dying to hear some Batavian stories. I would, but I wouldn't want to terrify you, Murdoch. I still require services out tonight. Just admit you don't have a story that can match mine. He drank from the whiskey flask being shared. I have plenty, I'll have you know. My grandfather was a storyteller like no other. I just think there's nothing scary about ghost tales. Men frighten me more than monsters or ghosts ever could. Doesn't seem to stop you from cozying up to Sam here. Murdoch! Hey, I'd do the same if I could. Mick responds to Jebediah, but the horse is still staring at the flames. You alright, Jebediah? Fire crackles. More than fun. Speaking of, Jebediah, Clifford, I want your opinion on something. That was not a voice. No, don't. We got talking while you were fixing the wagon, and well, he pauses. He's really milking this for all it's worth. Cliff buries his face in his palms, groaning. You're a horse, right? You only notice now. Besides the point, is it true what they say about horses that they've got big? Ah, boy. He just was crying, spilled some whiskey on himself. Jebediah's impressed. You kidding me? Sam, care to weigh in? I can't answer that. You sure you spent quite some time alone together? Must have been more going on than just fixing a wagon. That's all we did. Try about those horses, though. Drat, I suppose we'll never know, Cliff. That's enough out of you. No more alcohol. Group laughs. Okay, I want to tell a ghost story myself. Actually, I don't know if I can tell a ghost story myself. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. Okay, so my grandfather on my dad's side may never have told me any like stories a lot of the time. Like he never really told me much because I never really asked. But I do remember once that he took basically he told me the short version of this story. But he went to Vietnam when that was going on in the '60s, and well, obviously it ruined his leg. His leg is now a mess because of that, and basically what happened is he was, you know, I don't remember. I don't remember it that well. Anyway, I guess I'll move on to a different ghost story then. This one is from my personal experience. Basically, this is around maybe my seventh or eighth year of life, and we were, my family and I were visiting my mother's parents up in Michigan. So we're up there, my mom and opa are in bed, and everyone else is asleep, and I um I get up in the middle of the night because I'm have to use the bathroom. So I use the bathroom, which thankfully there's one like literally right next to the fucking door where the bedroom was in, you know. But then I'm kind of thirsty, so I go downstairs, kind of make my way downstairs, which really, you know, which at night, whenever it's at night and I'm trying to get some downstairs, I always move really quietly if I can. It's easier in that house because the stairs are carpet and they don't creak as much ones in this house. But so I get downstairs and I head into the kitchen. Basically, way this house is laid out is that the front door, go in there, you're like this little area where you take off your shoes and all that, but like straight ahead of you from that area is where like this main area is, like a living room kind of area where there's a couch and there's a staircase, and straight ahead from there, basically, if you're going in there on the left is where the staircase is and right is where the couches are. But if you go straight ahead, you get into the kitchen. So I get in there, I go into the kitchen and I get my water. As I'm getting some water, I start to get this really really uneasy feeling. You know, this really really dark sort of feeling that I'm being watched. You know that feeling. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you know that feeling. Um, Basically, I get really fucking creeped out, so I call out like, "Hey, is anyone there?" You know, my 7 and 8 year old voice, and no one answers, and all the lights are off downstairs, and um, being the fact that I'm not a small, I'm a dumbass little kid. I go down the little staircase, like really tiny staircase that leads to the door to the basement and the door to the office. And once I get in there, uh, like when I go down there, I notice that the basement door is open, and I know that it wasn't when we went to bed. So at that point, my red flags are off the charts, and I'm feeling genuine fucking fear at this point, not just like mild unease. Um, and as I turn my back on the closet door, to go back up the stairs and go back to the room as fast as I fucking can. Um, I hear this breath, and I feel it on the back of my neck, and I fucking run. Not just like, not like how I run now, but it was a full on fucking instinctual panic type run up the stairs. I and when I got back in that room, when I got back in my mom's childhood room where I was sleeping, I I was so fucking relieved. When I closed that door, it was like it was just a fucking safe house. Despite the fact I was still fucking scared and then I fell asleep after a bit and woke up the next morning. And I go downstairs and they're like at my oma and opa and are at the dinner or at like the dinner table, and they're eating breakfast because at that house they actually eat proper breakfast and it's amazing. So they asked me, "Hey, why was the basement door open?" And I just pretend not to know. I just say, I don't know. Why is it open?" And yeah, that's my ghost story for you guys. Thanks for listening to that, I guess. That was a tangent and a half. Fuck, I'm really uncomfy now. I look at my watch. Murdoch notices. I suppose it is about time, isn't it? What's our itinerary for tomorrow? We'll be cutting through the forest most of it. Shade, I like it. We'll be out by 8 and reach a citadel by noon the day after. The forest is that big? Yeah, more trash than I might think. Plenty of things that can kill you if they sink their teeth into you. I thought we left James Henry behind an echo. I'd have laughed if it wasn't a client of mine. Just keep an eye out. Snakes and spiders about. And figures in the dark, so there's that. Spiders? Damn, plenty of. Makes the fur on the back of my neck stand on end. Yeah, I won my tent one time. Didn't end well. Did you get bit? The spider. He mimes, smacking his arm. I feel this, leader. Not fearless, just not stupid. Bug stretches. Handing Jebediah the whiskey bottle, the horse takes a swig. And with that, I'll retreat to my tent. We have a long day ahead of us, and I'd rather not be spending most of it nursing a hangover. The stoat looks at me with those big blue eyes. I think I'll stay up a while longer. Perhaps I'll do some stargazing. Fuck. As long as you two stargaze quietly. Jebediah stands up as well, poking the fire with a stick. I'll go to bed too. There's a book I want to finish. I'll see you fellas at dawn. Good night. Fox and Horse both retreat for the night, leaving me and the stoat alone. Oh. Oh, he's so fucking cute. I just want to fucking hug him so bad. Cicadas are pretty loud. I doubt I could sleep until I wanted to. You're not joining them, huh? I need some quiet before bed. You ain't gonna get it here. I didn't mean it quite so literally. Slips a little closer, grabbing my paw. I let him. Stars are beautiful tonight. They don't shine this bright where I'm from. I guess you'll paint a Franklin a thing or two from us. Anthony Van Howlett. Hello, Ink. He laughs. I suppose he could were he still alive. He's dead. Has been for quite a few years. Could have known. I wonder what he'd been with this scenery. A warm, inviting, crackling fire, a beautiful full moon. Leave better company. He squeezes my paw. Thank you for helping me realize my dream, Samuel. What are you gonna do when your thesis is finished? I intend to travel back to Europe and finish my studies. After that, I don't know. I might travel the world for a while. But I'll have to return to Batavia eventually. Oh boy, I wonder if that happens. I'm guessing it doesn't. Considering that other Tibbets are an echo. Because Duke is Tibbet. So I guess that means that Cliff is Duke's grandfather. What the fuck? Oh my god, that's weird. Do you have family? Yes, my father's getting younger, and he expects me to become the man of the house, as it were. You don't sound too happy about it. You heard those men the other day, Samuel. You heard the sheriff. I'm not exactly the pinnacle of masculinity. Who fucking cares? I'm not sure I even qualify as a man in my father's eyes. Might have sailed to a whole different continent, but the commons and G's are the same no matter where I go. Perhaps I was foolish to think that in this wild, untamed frontier I'd be free to love who I want, no matter their gender. I'd say. But I do feel sorry for the guy. Fuck what the rest says. You don't gotta answer to anyone but yourself. I wouldn't put it so bluntly, but yes. You have a point. Leans on over and hugs me tight. Little weasel paws clamping on my back. Thank you, Sa. I'm guessing it was the fucking. I remember this moment. What was that? Another roar sounds. Almost like a person screaming. But it isn't. Cliff clings to me, his fingers digging in my back. Shit, man. His breath is short, shouting. I catch a smell of peppermint. Do you think it's a predator? Can't be. I heard footsteps. Heavy one, just like I heard that night Cliff was with me. No, I don't reckon it is. Jebediah crawled out of his tent, tossing his book behind him. He's a severe look in his face. Murdoch ain't too far behind, rubbing his eyes with a dark paw. Can a man get... Jebediah hushes him. You hush as well. Jebediah nods with a finger in his muzzle. Speaks, mouthing his words more than he whispers them. Douse the fire. Smoke will hide our scent. Looks at the horse, brows twitching as if his fist is unsure of what expression is appropriate. So peaceful months ago, but right now it's stuck somewhere between shock and tears. But... Jebediah frowns. Douse the fire. I wrest myself free from Cliff, knocking him onto the forest floor. I struggle clambering the bucket of water we had filled up earlier. Fire hisses and sputters and empty its contents. Wood smolders for a second. Darkness and smoke follow. I drop the bucket, a splash of water hits my paw. Something rustles through the bushes. One moment's on one side, the next it's on the other side. Do not move a muscle. What the fuck did I do? Excuse? I didn't mean to fucking do that. His voice can barely be called a whisper. Smoke's damn near suffocating me. I can't see or hear Cliff or Jebediah or Murdoch. Whatever it is, whatever's out there, I can hear it breathe. It's rasping like a dying man. My eyes sting, my throat burns. Jesus fucking Christ, man. This is fucking gross. This is just... gotta get out of this smoke. Leaves crunch on my paws. Snap of the twig sounds loud as thunder. Shit. It sprints towards me. Red eyes shimmer in the dark. Can't make out a chip, but I remember that scent clear as day. The dirty gray fur. I bare my claws, putting myself in between it and the rest. I'm running on pure instinct now. I can only hope Cliff is still behind me. It grazes me, knocking me off balance. I can hear Cliff scream before my head hits the ground hard. Pain surges through my entire body, and I grip my teeth just to stay awake. My vision is blurry. I see red, but I don't know if it's Murdoch's fur or the dying embers of the fire. Reach out to it, only for another scream to sound out, followed by utter chaos. Flesh is torn. Bones break. Hear a donkey bray, followed by the clopping of its hooves. Something scrapes over the ground next to me. It's a dreadful sound. Sniff the air, catching a metallic scent. Blood. Fresh blood. I crack an eye open. Immediately, I wish I kept it closed. A donkey is staring straight at me, face twisted in an earthly way. Soulless, almost were it not for its still moving eye. Its body is a few yards behind it, contorted and broken. Look away just as the head is scraped further over the ground, rolling onto my other side. I've seen my fair share of horrid things recently, but this is beyond belief. The soil underneath me is warm and damp. It stinks to my shirt, coloring its shades of pink and red. I can see the streaks on my arm even in the dark. My arms go limp. I can't lift them. The last bits of strength I had drain from my body, and darkness takes me. My last words are a prayer. My last thoughts are of hell and of home. What the fuck? Don't think it is softly. There's something tied around my neck, thick, heavy, and coarse. Oh, it's this. You don't deserve to go softly. Not after what you did. The voice is right in my ear. It's barely audible, the noise of a crowd. There's cloth covering my eyes, and I can see a pattern on it when I open them. I try raising my hands to take it off, but they're bound behind my back. Then the rope shapes against my fur and digs into my skin. The more I struggle, the more it hurts. William, is that you? There's no slipping out of this one. Your footsteps on wood. Murder is a serious crime, Sam. I didn't mean to, I swear he tricked me. You've only got yourself to blame. Barely hears his voice is overpowered by the chanting of the crowd. All shouting from my head. You've gotta believe me, I didn't. Did he attack me? Hitting my head, the blindfold's getting damp. I can't even hear myself cry. Please, William. Please. But Sam, isn't this what you wanted? All this time you've been running away. Voice goes crueler, more distant. Shifts in tone, shifts in pitch. Like some sort of machine. From your home, from your state, from the mines. You've used people. Left people behind. Now you're running from Echo. Where's that gotten you? Right here. At the end of my rope. Voice is Williams again, but it isn't him. It's far darker, dripping with hatred. Isn't this what you wanted, Sam? My chin is tipped up by a paw. I can feel something's hot breath on me. It reeks. To finally stop. Stop going in circles. The water underneath me creaks. All it takes is a pull of the lever. Laugh. It won't hurt a bitch unless you keep struggling. Something clicks. Any last words? Please don't. Goodbye, Sam. Floor gives way under me. Walls of eternity compressed into a single second. Then the rope pulls taut. Something snaps. The sensation of falling stops. I'm in a sitting position, half covered by a thin wool blanket. I have things to say. Wow. I fucking love that. I fucking love that sequence. It's so fucking good. It's so fucking effective. I love it. Anyway, guys, I'm done. I'm done with this video. Come back next time. It's now 12:28 a.m. See you next time, fuckers!